Have you ever heard the expression, you are the traffic? If you haven't, the basic idea is this. We complain about traffic that we have to deal with, we get stuck in it, it makes us late for work, or whatever. But the reality is that we are the traffic. That is, traffic is not something that happens to you, it is the collective behavior of all of the vehicles that are on the road at the same time. And you are in one of those vehicles, you're controlling one of them. So, in some way, you are contributing to the overall phenomenon called traffic. That's a basic idea. Now, obviously, we are just one small little cog in a massive machine, but we do have an influence. Every person has an influence. All of those little starts and stops and stutters and false starts and weird lane changes and hesitations and any kind of behavior that we engage in when we're driving. Well, all of those add up. And it's important to recognize that everybody has something to contribute there. Now, I'm not saying that driving down the road, if you behave a certain way, it's going to make all of the traffic go away, or it's going to make everything behave real smoothly. Of course not. But we are a part of it. We contribute. Well, likewise, we are the culture wherever we go. So if you think about a martial arts school that you might go to, there's a certain culture there. Some cultures are very jockish, some are very chest beaty, some are very competitive, some are very, very relaxed. Some cater to certain types of people. They maybe want a certain demographic there. Maybe they want to cater to older people or younger people. Maybe they cater to kids. Maybe they're all about women's self-defense. Maybe they're all about some sort of street practicality thing. It can be any of a million different ideas, different sorts of priorities. But the basic idea is that every school is going to have its own culture. And one of the things you're going to hear often from people who are talking about what kind of school to go to is to find a place that's got a good culture, find a place that has a good feeling, a good vibe. And that's a great piece of advice. But sometimes we find ourselves in situations where we want to complain about the culture, kind of the way we complain about the traffic. But really, we are partly responsible. In fact, we are much more responsible for the culture of a club or a school where there might be 20 other people in the room than when we're out in traffic and there are hundreds or thousands of other vehicles out there all making this big mess. So we should take some responsibility there. Try to be that change. Try to be whatever kind of culture you want to see. I'm really fortunate. I'm at a school where I am accepted, where I'm allowed to be my goofy sort of self, and I am a very goofy guy. I'm allowed to speak. They let people be who they are and speak their minds, and it, in the overwhelming majority of cases, makes things better, not worse. At least at our school, at the club where I am. But while it's true that they had to be somewhat inviting to create this culture, I try to make sure that I perpetuate that. So with other people, I make sure they understand that I'm okay with them speaking their minds. I'm okay with having others around me be themselves. So not only are we receiving the treatment of the collective, of the group that we are in, we are also helping to create that treatment for others. And so it all feeds back. When you're in any kind of a school or club or academy, any martial arts institution or location where you might be training, just try to keep that in mind, that you are the traffic. You are the culture. You are contributing to that. And if things aren't quite going the way they should, consider whether you're putting out the right vibes. Not in a mystical way, not in some sort of magical, good thoughts and feelings are going to fix everything sort of way, but just a general sort of sentiment that you are putting something out there too. You are communicating something to other people, and you are helping to create that environment. You are an active participant in that environment. Embrace that. Feel empowered by that. It won't always work out. There will be times when the overriding kind of culture there is so oppressive and is so firmly ingrained in all the other people there that they are not receptive to what you're going to put out. But I think you'll often find that people can be receptive. If you're persistent with being the right kind of person, at least whatever right is to you, and you have to find the culture that is good for you, or you have to decide what that is, what kind of person you want to be, and what sorts of people you want to train with, and then try to manifest that. But outside of those cases where things are just really set in stone already, I think that people have more opportunity than they realize to change the culture, to take an active role in it. So try to do that. And I'm speaking in the context of martial arts schools here, but this really applies to a lot of things. This applies to pretty much any environment you could find yourself in. It could be, well, a different kind of school, for example. Maybe you're studying at a university or a community college or somewhere, and it's the culture in the classroom. Of course, a lot of that is very top down because the teacher's ostensibly in control, but you have some opportunity in some cases, maybe. Maybe it's the workplace. That's a big one. What kind of vibe are you putting out to people? What kind of treatment are you giving others? Are you helping to try to push things, just kind of nudge that needle ever so slightly in the right direction to make things a healthier place to make it a healthier place for you, to make things more positive and supportive for the people around you? Are you doing that? Only you can answer that. Maybe it's just a circle of friends. Again, the same thing applies. Maybe we have a great supportive circle of friends and everybody can communicate openly and be very honest and be very sincere and vulnerable with each other. Or maybe not. Maybe there's something toxic about the culture in that group. So it all comes down to who all is in the group and how much effort people are putting in to try to change that culture. That's a really big thing with martial arts. And I feel it's unfortunate that so many martial arts schools and so many arts in general have at times been stigmatized because some bad schools allow certain cultures to perpetuate. You have a role in that. Just like the culture at large. When you see something that's wrong, speak to it. Try to fix it or try to stop it from happening. Obviously, there are limits to this, but I think if you keep the idea in the back of your mind, it may tend to manifest more in your actions and you might start to see a difference in other people. And of course, you have my sincere hope that if you do train, that you find a place or help to create a place that is really healthy and supportive for you. Because a healthy, supportive, non-toxic place to train is one of the most valuable things any martial artist can have. So those are my thoughts on that. Remember, you are the traffic.